Hello, everyone. Happy holidays to all of you. Uh, Snark here. Welcome to Rewatchers Council. Guys, we're in the holiday spirit around here. Let's get ready, network. Celebrate with some. I think this is the only Buffy episode that's kind of Christmas themed. I can't think of anything else. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to have Adelia with us today, but if you're all good boys and girls, might have a special guest pop up. I don't want to give any hints to who it is, but they're Holly. They're jolly. They also know when you're sleeping and when you're awake. So, could be anybody. But you get on with the show until that certain person, that certain staple this time of year comes and joins us on the show. Now, we're talking Amends, of course. It's season 3, episode 10, guys. So I find it kind of weird on this one side, but I'm waiting for our friend to show up. Now, the original air date for this, December 15th, 1998. So, pretty close to the day we recorded this show. It's almost the anniversary, you know what I mean? Written, directed by the showrunner, The Grinch. Now, the number one movie in the United States of America. I'm sure Councilman Brennan. Oh, he's right here. We'll say hello to Brent Marr. Brent, how are you doing? Happy holidays to you, sir. Just about to reveal what the number one movie in the United States of America 1998 was. And I know that Brendan's pretty good when it comes to movie trivia. And I also know that he's very good when it comes to Star Trek. So he would know of anybody that Star Trek Insurrection was the number one movie in theaters December 15th, 1998. The songs didn't change. Number one song in America is I'm Your Angel. We're not going to get into who sings it. Besides Celine Dion, I guess I can mention her. That's, she is Canadian. Brendan says, oh, that one. Yeah, that one. Is that the Fountain of Youth one? I think that is, right? Anyways, number one song in the UK, Still Believe by Cher. And again, I don't believe this thing goes to number one in America. How is this thing such a huge hit? Anyways, number one song in Canada, maybe the girl that took over from Celine as the Queen of Canada. I think Celine may have reclaimed her throne, but for sure, Alanis Morissette for a long time was tops in Canada as it came to female recording artists. I think it's still the largest selling, or was the largest selling album by a lady ever recorded with Jagged Little Pill. This is from the follow-up album. The song's Thank You. Thank you, India. Thank you, Terror. Thank you, Disillusionment. I don't know. Maybe not the best things to be thankful for, especially this time of year, guys. So, we're going to go into the DVD synopsis here. As the Christmas holiday approaches, guys, Angels is tormented by visions of his past victims, including Jenny Calendar, who want him to kill Buffy. Seems like a bah humbug holiday special, if you know what I mean. I think they're supposed to say that's kind of like the Dickens style Christmas Carol. I don't think it really pans out that way. But anyways, important stuff. Maybe maybe not a hugely important episode, but certainly there's important, I don't even know if I can say character, but being introduced to the show. So, as this is the last episode of 1998, guys, maybe we'll do a little wrap up of stuff next time for Gingerbread. This one starts with a flashback. We go all the way back to Dublin. The old country for Irish people. And it's 1838. It's Christmas time. There's a young fella named Daniel racing through the streets. Unfortunately, he runs into a mustachioed Angelus. And by the way, mustachioed Angelus does look like a true 1800s villain. Like, this guy has tied a damsel to the train tracks at least once in his life, and knowing Angel, probably more. And he did it for fun. You know what I mean? So it turns out, and I've said this once, I've said it 100 times. Don't make the mistake of losing money to a vampire. Well, Angel wants his payback here. So young Daniel starts praying. But unfortunately, Daniel's going to be the Christmas pudding this year. As he bites into him, though, Angel wakes up. So he does what any brooding young man would do, start walking around downtown. And wouldn't you know, runs into our heroine, Buffy. New haircut on Buffy. I'm not sure what role she was also acting in this, but a distinct look for SMG in this one. Now, the two characters make some awkward small talk, as they do. Angel notices Daniel, though, staring at him from behind Buffy. Just in the street. I'm like, all right, whatever. Angel's visibly shaken by this. He has a very good memory, does Angel, considering all the people he's killed. He remembers this one guy. Buffy asks him what's up, but before we get an answer, credits. It's credits time. Now, after the credits, we don't get an answer, actually. It just goes straight to the library. Buffy's filling Willow in here. At school, not at the library. But Buffy's filling Willow in. She thinks that Buffy should tell Giles, but she doesn't want to bug him. Now, I think she's made this mistake before. It might be good just to, give Giles a heads up about things, but she gets better at it. Xander takes this opportunity, of course, to bash Angel again. Now Buffy's just done with it. Enough. So, Willow thinks this is just holiday blues for a vampire. Buffy says she's done her best not to see him. And all she wants is a quiet Christmas vacation. Don't we all? She wants the traditional dinner and a bunch of gifts. She is a 17-year-old young lady. Willow reminds everyone that she's Jewish when she had plans with us, but, and Xander notices Cordy. Of course, they're talking about the two of them. Notice Cordelia. This time he doesn't run away, though. She doesn't either. They're sitting across from that, that student lounge area they have at that high school for some reason. Now, he informs them of his annual Christmas Eve campout in his backyard. Says this to feel the whole nature vibe. This is Southern California, guys. But by now, Cordy's already walked up to them and says that he sleeps outside to avoid his family's drunken Christmas fights. He says he told her that in confidence. But you'd think Willow would also know this, but they've known each other since they were in footy pajamas, guys. I would imagine she would know this stuff, right? Cordy's off to ski in Aspen. She brags. She brags that it has real snow, and I don't know if that's something to really brag about. I'm here in Manitoba, guys. Manitoba. Let's see if I can do this, because just found out that the Grinch won't be showing up. In Manitoba, we got all the snow we can handle. If you Californians want snow, we'll gladly trade you. We can have your beaches, your sand, your surf. You can have our goddamn snow. So it took me 30 minutes to clear out of my parking spots. The weekend wasn't that ever fun. Anyways, Willow doesn't blame her for throwing stuff in their faces. She tells them that she's big on forgiveness this Hanukkah season, which is very nice. Then Oz shows up. Speaking of forgiveness, guys, He and Willow find an abandoned classroom to talk in. There's hundreds of them supposed to in the school. There's always a readily available empty classroom at Sunnydale High. He was obviously upset seeing her with Xander, of course. He knows there's a history with them and isn't sure if it'll ever be over with them, but he does know that he misses her, guys. It's like he's lost a torso, which is an odd thing to say to a lady. You know what I mean? He wants to give it another shot. Willow wonders if they should hug now. And he thinks that's right. So, we got, it's a good name for them. Waz, Zillow, maybe Zillow. I like that one. That's not bad. Anyways, Buffy and her mom are tree shopping. Joyce asks Buffy to invite Faith over for Christmas. Buffy explains they haven't really been spending much time together lately. Well, one guilt trip later, though, when Buffy folds, Buffy then asks about Giles. Joyce promptly shuts that down and splits off. I wonder why. I wonder why that could be. She's feeling just in case there's mistletoe at the Summers house this year. You know what I mean? Anyways, Buffy finds a bunch of dead trees, and the guy who runs it has no idea why or how it happened. Oh boy. Now, we cut to some hooded figures chanting, which is odd. It's not odd that hooded figures are chanting in this show. Just maybe odd that these ones have the ability to, but that's something we can cover much later from now. Anyways, they're in some kind of ritual. Their eyes have been sewn shut, and there's some designs on them. And then Angel wakes up again. This guy's always sleeping. You know what I mean? Maybe it's having the vampire version of turkey. You know what I mean? Everyone gets sleepy around the holidays. Buffy drops by Face and fights her for some Christmas dinner. Face says she can't because of some big party. Sure. Buffy leaves the invitation open and then leaves. Angel stops by Giles's. Of course, he's not welcomed warmly. He asks for help, and there's no one else who can, guys. Giles is the only one. Giles walks off. Angel reminds him that he has to be welcomed in before he can step through the threshold here. Giles says he knows, while brandishing, of course, a crossbow, because they give a crossbow to everybody here, guys. Ridiculous. What is with Southern California and crossbows? Anyways, points the crossbow at him, allows him in. Angel fills him in on the dreams now. How vivid they are. He tells Giles he needs to know why he's back on Earth. For goodness sakes, not a demon dimension, suffering for all of eternity. Giles asks if knowing why he's back would give him some peace of mind, and if he thinks he deserves it, which is cutting but fair, I think. He turns and Angel sees Jenny. Giles reminds him last time he was complacent. It turned out badly. I think that's all anybody ever reminds these people of, it seems. Angel starts getting freaked out, wondering how Giles doesn't see her, and runs out. So, maybe if Angel isn't having the vampire version of turkey, he might also be having the vampire version of acid, you know what I mean? Throwing it back to the 60s. Anyways, it's nighttime, but for some reason, Angel's fast asleep again. When does he not sleep? This dream has him flashbacking again. Somehow, he got invited to a Christmas party. He doesn't seem the most holly or jolly. He has a servant girl cornered. We're then shown how some people in positions of power can occasionally be as brutal of a monster as those we've made up. And before draining her, he tells her son will make a fine dessert to top it off. But that's the last thing she gets to hear, guys. I'm going to say this right now. Angelus was a bit of a jerk, if you ask me. I don't care what you guys say. I don't think he was a very nice person at all. Anyways, when he's finished, he recoils in fear because this time he sees Buffy looking at him. Now, though, Angel wakes up, but so does Buffy. Buffy, you can get it. She's supposed to sleep at night. What's Angel supposed to do? Angel gets dressed. Jenny Calendar's there in the mansion with him. He asks her to leave him alone, but she tells him he won't let her. All right. She tells him to feel sorry for himself, not for what he did to her. He apologized to her again. Lots of apologies coming around. She says she doesn't want him to feel bad. She changes into Daniel now, though, who says he wants to show Angel who he really is. I think we've seen who Angel really is a few times. Buffy tells Giles she was an Angel's dream. Now she's feeling it. At least she's not hiding this part, that there's something wrong with Angel. Giles says he knows and that he's seen him. And that Angel wants to know why he returned. Buffy wants to help Giles discover why, telling him everything's done with Angel. Yeah, they're done forever, guys. They'll never, ever get back together, and wants to move on, but can't while they're connected like this. Giles agrees. Well, of course he would. Xander comes in and volunteers to help as well. Giles hands out researching assignments. And then Willow shows up, just right on cue. Lucky. It's one of her favorite things is researching, I guess. I'm surprised that Xander's there. Xander's turned a corner now. Now he wants to be more friendly, I guess, with Buffy. We'll see how long that lasts. Hopefully for a long, long time. Anyways, the gang all get to reading. Willow tells Buffy that she and Oz are back together. Willow thinks that it's awkward right now. It would be, I would imagine. She wants to know how she can get Oz to trust her again. Buffy tells her to make sure that Oz knows that he comes first. Now, I was thinking about making a joke, but this is a holiday special, guys. Happy holidays to you all. Back at the mansion, Angel is being haunted again, this time by a man he killed after discovering how Angel killed his children and displayed them as sleeping peacefully. Oh, what a guy. Who can't help but fall in love with that guy? He then morphs into the English servant, and then reminds him that most beasts kill to eat, but he did it mostly for pleasure. Then Angel turns to run, but Daniel's there, reminding him he was getting married that week. And, I take umbrage with that. Who gets married at Christmas? Who would get married at Christmas in Ireland, of all places? You know what I mean? I don't think would they even allow it? I doubt it. Anyways, Angel says it wasn't him. It was the demon. But Daniel's Jenny now. She reminds them that as a man, he was a shithead. He was a drunken lout. I think that's the nicest way to put it. Angel says that he was young. He never had a chance. Jenny's back to being the servant girl again and tells him he was worthless before ever becoming a monster. Ugh. Well, truth hurts. Jenny reappears, telling him she doesn't want to hurt him, but cruelty was his only true talent. He denies it. She tells him to rest. Tells him cruelty is his destiny and that she'll show him. Ooh, boy. And at the library, Buffy's asleep in the stacks now. She dreams of her and Angel together, decking the halls in a way, getting, I'm going to remind myself that it's a holiday special once again. Then she sees one of the disfigured men standing just right at the foot of the bed like a blinded pervert. Angel gets a little vampy, bites her, and she wakes up again, as does Angel. Now they're like, what is that movie? The Last Jedi? Everybody's favorite Star Wars movie. Jenny says, take him, or tells him to take her. Then he put his guilt into her. And if he puts his guilt in her, he'll be freed. He refuses. She tells him it's who he is and why they brought him back. When he takes her, he'll be ready to kill her. Well, I was ready to kill her before. This makes, guys, I'm not going to say that a lot of this makes sense, but I'm going to keep going. Buffy is walking down the library steps. Giles shows her letters that reference an ancient power known as the First. So, Giles explains that the First is the first evil, older than man or demon. He tells her the First has the power to bring Angel back. Letters have sketches of men like the peeping Tom in her dream. Giles asks what the dream was about. Of course, she dodges the answer. She has humility, I guess you could say. And Giles tells her the men are called bringers. Sorry, bringers or harbingers. The first high priest. It can summon manifestations and set them on people to influence them or haunt them. Now, of course, this is the first time we see the first cure of the first. The first, of course, is going to play a large role later on in this series. If anybody's for some reason following along and have never seen the series before, i.e., a young Ferris Mothana. I won't get too into it, but those who know, you know. And anyways, Xander wants to stop them. Giles tells him that the first isn't corporeal. The priest can be fought, though. They'll need to know where. And if there's someone in that town that knows where shady people are, it's Willie the Snitch. What a holiday special. All the guest stars are coming back. First time we've seen him since What's My Line Part 2, guys. He welcomes the Slayer loudly. I do appreciate how some of his clientele turn slowly, walk towards the exit. You gotta love it. He asks Buffy and Xander if they'd like a drink. Xander asks for a double shot, and when Buffy looks at him funny, he says of information. Buffy asks if he knows about the bringers. They'd be holed up somewhere, summoning the first. Turns out, Willie's heard that the underground people are being scared off by something. These things don't scare easy either. Maybe the bringers are underground. Oh boy. Buffy thanks him. Willie compliments Xander's intimidation technique. To be fair, I don't know if is that great. Wishes Buffy a Merry Christmas. She doesn't do the same. Okay, come on. It's Christmas. Buffy and Xander discuss how they're back to square one. Buffy's unsure what to do. Xander wants to celebrate Christmas. And this is a good time to celebrate Christmas, guys. He tells her they'll catch them sooner or later. He's being a good friend. Shows up at Willow's with videos. The lights are low. She's wearing a tight red dress. It's the conductor of the Love Unlimited Orchestra. Barry White begins to croon, "Can't get enough of your love, babe." Oz is uncomfortable with this. He asks if she's ever had that dream where she's in a play but doesn't know the words or doesn't know the plot, which we all know and have seen that she has. She tells him she wants tonight to be special, then informs him maturely and confidently that she's ready to do that thing, guys. Now, Oz is not ready, though. He appreciates everything she's doing, but he wants it to happen when they both need it to happen. For the same reason. Everyone, doesn't everybody use that old line? I think he's using it wrong in the wrong time right now, though. She tells him that she wanted him to know. He gets the message. It's all very nice and all very, very Oz-ish. You know what I mean? Joyce and Buffy are talking by the fire. There's a lame angel on top, double entendre joke that you've seen in the show probably a few times. Then Faith shows up. She says the party was a drag. But she did bring a couple of gifts. I think she probably just made them herself, which people say, are the most meaningful gifts. But are they? Yes, I guess they are. Anyways, Buffy goes upstairs. She's going to go get Faith's gifts. They got her gifts just in case, I suppose. She gets to her room and finds a sketchy-looking angel. He mutters that he wanted to see her. Clearly, something's not right with him right now. He starts focusing on her neck. And Jenny the First starts egging him on. He tells her to stay away from him, which is rich. She's confused by this. She's the one that went to go see. You go see someone to say, stay away from me? I don't get it. Anyways, she tells him that he's being controlled and he's confused. He says she is, for some reason. The first tells him to think of peace when he tastes her. Then he jumps out the window. I think, like in Snark's head, that maybe the episode was short. They used to put something else. They needed a couple, maybe an extra minute and a half or something like that, so they filmed this real quick. Does this thing really mean anything? Anyways, Buffy gets Faith to stay with her mom now, heads to Giles's. She's in a panic to do something. Giles tells her to not lose her head. She tells him that Angel's slipping now and that they're losing him. He reminds her she may have to kill him. Again. You know what I mean? The Crawford Street Mansion, the first is still trying to convince Angel to kill Buffy. He says he'll never hurt her. Jenny says he was born to hurt her, which is odd. So he was born, 200 years before, and as long as he's alive. But Angel butts in and says that he'll die then. You know what? If I have to be alive to kill Buffy, I'm just going to die. First says he doesn't have the strength. Bit of a weakling. Then Angel says all he needs is the sunrise. Very poetic. First tells him as he walks away that this isn't the plan. Then mutters under its breath, but it'll do. That makes no sense, all right? Like, the plan. Angel's born to kill the Slayer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But she kills him. Then they say, oh, we'll bring you back. And a couple of months later, it's like, well, I'll just die if I have to kill her. It's like, well, it'll do. That plan works too. He was already dead. You could have just kept him dead if, it'll do. Makes no sense to me. Anyways, Buffy and Giles are still researching. Giles finds something he considers posturing, but still says this out loud for some reason, how the harbingers of death will have nothing grow above or below them. Of course, Buffy has to see it. Then has a eureka moment, guys. So she remembers something from the beginning of the episode. So she heads to the Christmas tree place. We see that the dead trees are all in a circle. Also, one thing, maybe it's because I live in a land that's quite frozen by Christmas time, but do they just keep Christmas trees planted in the ground till someone buys them in California? This would have been a good question, I guess, for fairs. I don't understand that at all. Anyways, another thing with these bringers, this is how unlucky are they? They find the one spot in this entire area of Christmas trees. It's pretty huge, a big parking lot or something like that. They find the one area that has growing trees to under, not this huge area that has fake trees that they could have, just sat underneath and never be bothered. Anyways, now she finds a nearby axe. She knocks a hole into what I could say is some dangerously thin earth. I don't know how these trees would still be alive in it. It just takes a couple whacks. She has a big hole. She falls down into the hole. She sees the bringers, I guess, them. Starts smacking a couple of them with the axe. Not really chopping them, just hitting them with it. One of them starts running away. She doesn't really care about that. She busts up their ritual pile. Then the first shows up as Jenny. So we have the first talking to Buffy for the first time. Get it? First? Anyways, she tells Buffy that she's impressed. Buffy tells her that she won't get Angel. The first informs her that she's not a demon. She just gets really braggy about herself. She's beyond sin or death. That the first is the thing that darkness fears. And I thought that was Chuck Norris. Guys, if you guys don't remember all those great Chuck Norris jokes from 10 years ago, I highly recommend you look them up. It says that they're everywhere. They're in every being, every thought, every drop of hate. Oof. Buffy gets bored, says she gets it. The first is evil. She doesn't want to yap about it all day. Jenny tells her Angel will be dead by sunrise. And she has no idea what she's dealing with. Buffy says, let me guess, is it evil? Was it the church lady? I love that line. Jenny then disappears and reappears as some kind of demonic shadow like you'd see at the Black Sabbath concert. And reminds her, dead by sunrise. Ugh. Buffy rushes to the mansion now, sees an open door, and automatically knows that Angel's probably on the hill that's around here somewhere. She finds that hill, and luckily she was right. Angel then talks about how kids are probably already awake for Christmas. Buffy tells him to get inside. Sunrise is close. He says he knows because he can smell it. What? That's a scent. Sunrise has an odor. I don't know what it's probably like. It would be, could you imagine if the sunrise was like freshly baked bread? Maybe that's what it's like for a vampire, except the opposite. Anyways, Buffy tries to explain about the thing that was haunting him. He tells her it was showing him, not haunting him. What he always was. He tells her he wanted to know why he's back. Now he does, But Buffy's not having it. She challenges him for giving up. He says he can't do it again. He won't be a killer. Here, guys. He tells her it wanted him to kill her. She knows from the dream. Asks him why that matters. He tells her he wanted to, guys. Oh boy. It's one thing to think it. It's another thing to actually want it, I guess. He thinks he wants her just so bad. He doesn't care if it costs him his soul. So, very weirdly, romantic, I guess. Buffy starts crying. She tells him everyone's weak. Everyone fails. Now, maybe not entirely inspirational so far. She tells him that the first needs him so he can hurt it. That he has the power to do good and make amends. Because we had to get the title of the episode in. Then she says if he dies, then all he ever was a monster. She begs him to do again. He tells her she'll never understand what he's done, and she's had it. And starts to use force now to bring him to safety. He hits back, asks if he's worth saving, and that the world wants him gone. Oh my God, he's feeling sorry for himself. She tears up and says, what about me? And of course, when Sarah Michelle Gellar delivers that, it's going to be heartbreaking. Then professes her love for him again. Oh boy. She hates how hard it is and how much he can hurt her. That she knows the bad he's done because he did it to her. He's done some bad. I don't know if he's done all this bad, though. You know what I mean? He's done some bad things. She wishes she could wish him dead, but can't. Now Angel's a little weepy. He asks her to let him be strong. She says strong is fighting. It's hard, and it's every day. All right, but they can do it together, and that if he burns, don't expect her to watch or mourn. Then it starts snowing. A warm California night. For some reason, everyone's wearing a coat. Everyone's preemptively wearing a coat. It's supposed to be warm out, California. Snowing here. Gang all takes turns watching. We get to see that Oz and Willow are on bed, not in bed together, on bed, in their PJs and stuff like that, still awake, or maybe just waking up. I guess maybe watching movies late because they weren't getting up for Christmas. Some music hint comes in. There's a little piece of music here that Christoph Beck uses. It's going to be used in the season 6 episodes, guys. I think my note was that right now they're all going through the motions. If you know, you know. Xander, of course, was sleeping outside. Gets a nice little wake up, a little snowy wake up here. It's nothing that I haven't had happen before. Maybe I wasn't, meant to sleep outside. Maybe I just kind of fell asleep outside in the cold. Anyways, weatherman somehow is immediately on the television reporting this weird cold front that's only over Sunnydale, California. Extreme cold. The snowing and that the sun is nowhere in sight, it says, because I guess people in California think it can't be sunny and have snow at the same time. It certainly can. But luckily, Sunnydale this time can't, because for some reason, even though they had moments to go before the sunrise and they haven't heard anything from this weather report, Buffy and Angel decide to walk through downtown holding hands. They say, sunrise be damned. It's Christmas, guys. So Merry Christmas to them. Merry Christmas to all of you, and especially happy holidays to anyone who celebrates this time of year. Next time, season 4 keeps delivering, guys. I tell you. Gingerbread is next. You guys like Hansel? You guys like Gretel? Did you ever want to see that witch get punished? Well, I think Joyce wants to see some witches get punished. Maybe won't be a happy ending for a couple of Sunnydale witches, but we'll see. That's next time on Gingerbread, guys. That's we here on the Let's Get Ready Network never seems to stop. You know what I mean? We got people talking post credits with Skeleton Crew. I believe they're also talking the Happy's Place, which is a Reba McEntire sitcom. She got another one, and they're watching it now. I believe that's something that Adelia and Brandy are doing. Over on the highlights, which is our sports channel, we got NFL still in full effect. So there's a bet in the NFL with Caleb. There's Good Friends, Better Rivals. That's Ferris and Caleb show. As for me, I've got Starting 11 live Tuesdays. Show I do with the dealers. Sometimes Ferris. We talk about the English Premier League. We'll be back Tuesday. The only time zone that matters is Central Time. That's 7 o'clock Central. I guess that's you figured it. Probably 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm imagining. Be maybe 5 in the old Pacific time zone. But this Friday, I'll be talking. This Friday, if you're watching, day this is released live right now on YouTube, I'll be talking hockey with my buddy Ryan Christensen. Playoff beards. We've hit the quarter mark. The NHL season. We'll talk about how everything's going and say my hockey team's been doing just fine. It'll be fun to talk about that. We'll be talking about the tournament they're having, the mid-season tournament or whatever. Four Nations. I don't know if it's a Four Nations Cup or it's a Four Nations tournament they're going to have. Just so that everyone gets to play a lot of games in a row. Jets have been 13 games in 23 days, which is kind of nuts. But we'll talk about that and more. And also, how can I forget? This weekend on the Entertainment Channel, LGRN After Snark, I'll be talking with Danny. I think we're going to talk Skeleton Crew, maybe a couple other things as well. We usually talk about other things. You know what I mean? Then we'll just get to Skeleton Crew at some point. But until next time, guys, we're going to talk gingerbread. I guess, gingerbread houses. Gingerbread. I'd be happy to talk about that. I will see you all, or you'll be seeing me and or listening next time, guys. Until then, bonne nuit.